Good morning, Kentuckiana. 6 a.m. here on your Friday. I'm Grace McKenna.
And I'm Gabriel Gonzalez. We've got a lot to talk about, not only for today, but this weekend. It's going to be all eyes on the weather. Yeah,
Matt, it is winter's here. We've been talking about this, though, for a couple days, so at least we've known that it was on the way.
That's right. It is on the way, and it's sticking around, too, as we head past today and into our weekend and into most of next week. Cold temperatures lasting with us. Here's a view of Scottsburg this morning. U of L Health, brought to us by U of L Health and Indiana University. A quiet pattern for now. They did see a few small snow flurries earlier. Temperatures currently in the mid-20s across Jefferson County. Over in southern Indiana, closer towards Scottsburg, 24 degrees, 23 Seymour, 26 Mumfordville. Winds are now staying out of the south. That's going to bring us out of these freezing temperatures later into this afternoon. And winds are currently in between 5 and 10 miles per hour for a few of us. Some of us seeing winds gusting between 10 and 20 miles per hour near LaGrange, 17 miles per hour there. Anytime we have a breeze today, the temperatures will feel a bit cooler than they actually are, feeling like 11 degrees there in LaGrange, feeling like 16 degrees there in Elizabethtown. You'll notice on satellite and radar, as I mentioned, a few patchy snow flurries developing for some of our southernmost counties. Over in southern Indiana, they're waking up this morning to some very small snow showers that are continuing to make their way just towards our east. As we head later on into our morning hours, most of this activity will start breaking apart as those temperatures are going to gradually increase above freezing, but we are headed into another snowy trend for this evening and into tomorrow night. So make sure that you are keeping a close eye on the roads. If you have plans to travel this evening, there's going to be a weather impact alert in place for us as we continue tracking out our next system. So as I mentioned, our temperatures increase above freezing throughout the afternoon, and then we'll see the arrival of rain showers for the start of the evening. That will be slowly transitioning into a wintry mix by the later evening hours, and eventually just total light snow showers throughout the nighttime hours, and that will continue into the first part of our Saturday morning. We're going to continue staying in this pattern throughout our Saturday morning, and later on into Saturday afternoon, those snow showers will begin to ease up. We're expecting up to 2 inches of accumulation by Saturday evening across southern Indiana, and up to 1 inch of accumulation for folks just towards the south of the Ohio River. Here's a look at that bus stop forecast. 28 degrees off to school, and on your way back, you can expect those temperatures to be in those lower 40s, upper 30s, with cloudy skies still continuing with us. That's a look at your weather details for now. Here's an update on traffic this morning. As of right now, everything's moving along fine across the Louisville Metro. Nothing causing any major holdups. If we have that, we'll let you know. Grace, Gabe.
All right, thanks, Matt. Our top story this morning, major changes could be coming to your child's classroom. JCPS's budget proposal to cut $132 million calls for massive layoffs.
A big portion would come from central office, but classroom employees are also at risk. WHAS11's Ian Hardwick tells you about the jobs on the chopping block.
Cutting this much money and this many jobs, you never feel good about it, and that's the hard part that really sucks.
JCPS board member Taylor Everett sees cuts to 300 central office jobs as necessary after the district added 255 over the last 6 years.
Chiefs are being demoted or removed, all the way down to an admin secretary role, to assistant superintendents, to instructional coaches. It's all across the board.
In addition to those potential layoffs, other positions could be trimmed in half, including academic instructional coaches. They're former teachers that track student progress. Currently, the coaches work in most schools and help teachers with lesson planning. Under the proposed cuts, the district saves $14.6 million and centralizes the remaining coaches.
Not every school may need an AIC, but some schools may need two. And so the goal with this would be now you can actually deploy them where they're needed. And hopefully, if it also leads to filling some of our teacher vacancies, that's a good thing too.
The district wants another $3.6 million in cuts to the program teaching students English.
Obviously, I don't love that, right? I don't love, in a perfect world, I wouldn't cut anything.
Everett says he supports Superintendent Brian Yearwood, who defended the cuts Wednesday night.
It's a reduction so we can get to a responsible budget.
One position slated for cuts is called the Explore Coaches. They help students figure out career paths and are set to be cut back under the proposal, saving $650,000. Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11, on your side.
In a letter sent out on Thursday, the Jefferson County Teachers Association said academic and Explore coaches have a right to fill teacher vacancies if they're laid off. And the budget proposal could include other cuts as well. At Wednesday night's meeting, Yearwood said closing and consolidating King and Zachary Taylor elementary schools still on the table. WHAS11 spoke to Ruthetta Ashley, a 4th grade teacher at King, after the draft budget was shared.
I just feel like we're constantly fighting this battle and not being listened to or heard. They have all these questions and we can't answer them. And just that uncertainty and that anxiety has just put a lot more trauma on children who experience such a high rate of trauma.
The JCPS board is set to vote on the draft budget at its next meeting on Tuesday, January 20th.
Drugs capable of killing more than 1,000 people are off Louisville streets this morning. The U.S. attorney for the area says a bust this past weekend took down a major drug trafficking operation spanning from Detroit, Michigan to Louisville. 9 people suspected in connection to the operation are now in federal custody. We're told authorities found 70 pounds of meth, fentanyl, and cocaine. Agents raided 15 locations, including 10 here in Louisville. U.S. Attorney Kyle Baumgartner says the drugs came from Detroit and were brought here to Kentucky. Meanwhile, Special Agent John Noakes credited Louisville's strong connections for making the arrest possible.
I want to commend the agents, the officers, the detectives, and the prosecutors involved in this investigation for their diligence, patience, and extraordinary teamwork. The investigative partnerships that we have here in Louisville are truly second to none.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says LMPD started the investigation and partnered with the local DEA and ATF. The suspects faced 10-year minimum sentences if convicted. This morning, a man charged in connection to a Parkland neighborhood murder is expected in court. 22-year-old Ryan Sims is charged with murder and receiving a stolen firearm, which police say was the weapon used to kill a man on November 26th of last year. Sims had also been arrested the day after the shooting on domestic assault charges. According to LMPD records, when the victim knocked on an apartment door, Sims took out a gun and shot him multiple times. He's scheduled to be arraigned this morning at 9.
Right now, Kentucky health officials are dealing with the first measles case of 2026, but they say your risk remains low. A person in Jessamine County in central Kentucky picked up the virus after an infected out-of-state traveler visited Lexington. The state says receiving 2 doses of the measles vaccine is 97% effective against the virus. Thursday night, families of people who lost someone to violence in 2025 were honored at Mayor Craig Greenberg's Night of Remembrance. Bates Memorial Baptist Church hosted an interfaith prayer and candlelight ceremony. The vigil wanted to uplift families, strengthen the community, and try and heal open wounds.
I just spoke to a mother just a few minutes before I came here today, and she said it perfectly. I don't want you to forget my child. So we have to show them that, we're still working because some of these cases are still open.
Mayor Greenberg emphasized the need to end violence in the city so we can stop events like this one.
All right, Matt, coming over to you. What is one thing we need to know?
Another weather impact alert in place for our Friday and Saturday as we expect rounds of wintry weather that will be developing throughout this evening and into the night. It's going to cause some slick spots on those roads. You need to make sure you're using caution before you get your evening or your Saturday morning started. We've got a lot of cold air headed our direction too. Sunday will be our coldest day of the week. Temperatures at 25 degrees for the high and 15 for the low. Getting chilly out there. More details coming up.